And you're still tuned into the Motown Show right here on ET Now. And today we're going to be in conversation with the management of VinFast, because VinFast is seen to be expanding a lot in the Indian markets, and not just with respect to the PVs. They are expanding in the two-wheeler side, and that's the plan. But let's understand all of that in more detail, and let me welcome VinFast India CEO, Mr. Tapan Ghosh, is joining us on the show right now. Hi, very good morning, Mr. Ghosh, and thank you so much for your time. And first of all, let's talk about and start with your latest launch, and that's an addition in the MPV space. With VinFast launching an MPV now, help us understand, how are you positioning this product? Is it going to be a family-friendly product, or you are targeting a market which is catering to the fleet demand? And along with that, what is the strategy here?
So, as you must be knowing that we are having that VF6 and VF7, which is SUV, which are two SUV products for the Indian customers. Now, MPV 7 we have launched, that is to cater to the need of a large family. If you see, there are very few, hardly any MPVs on the road which can accommodate 7 adults comfortably. Our car, with 2840mm of wheelbase, our car can actually seat 7 adults very comfortably in the, over in the car. The third row is very spacious. The range is very good, 517 kilometers, the ARI-certified range. So this is one particular car, or rather I will say a multi-purpose vehicle, which actually caters to the latent demand for a large Indian family. And that's the reason why we have brought in. I believe that there is a huge potential for that. And yeah, we are going to cater to that potential. Hopefully the customers will give a big thumbs up to our product.
But with respect to this launch itself, Mr. Ghosh, because MPV segment already has quite a competition. We have some of these big players and Indian companies that have been catering to this particular segment, and you are launching an EV product into that. Give us some sense that what made you prioritize this launch at this point in time?
Yeah, MPV segment may be competitive, but as you know that EV, there are very, very few players in the EV MPV segment, and we are offering a unique proposition to the EV MPV segment, which is something customers will like it, especially as I had told, that it's a practical car, it's a family car with large seating, and the drive is very comfortable. And I believe that it may be competitive overall, but like even in our VF6 and VF7 also, there were a lot of competition, but we created a niche for ourselves. Similarly, this is one particular product where we are going to create a niche for ourselves in the MPV space with our electric vehicle offering.
But Mr. Ghosh, now with respect to the EV market itself, help us understand that how are you seeing this market grow in the next 2 to 3 years, and add to that, which segments could be the key outperformers?
EV industry is growing at quite a rapid speed. If I talk about 2 years back, 2-3 years back, the EV volume was only 5,000 per month. Now the last few months, the average has been 17 to 18,000 per month. Last month, in fact, it crossed 22,000 EVs per month. EV penetration is also increasing. Okay, that there was a time where it used to be only 2%, then last year it was 4%, last month it was more than 5%. So what it means that, yes, EV adoption is growing rapidly, and next few years we are very, very positive about the long-term EV volume.
But with respect to the state policies, in the latest we have seen Delhi extending their EV policy, and that is of course beneficial for the industry overall. But do you anticipate that maybe other states will also follow the suit, and which segments could be the key targeted ones?
Yeah, so Delhi state government policy is very encouraging, And yes, our company is going to be benefited. And yes, in my opinion, states should give initial fillip, like what Delhi state government has given for the adoption of EV. And we welcome Delhi government's policy about the EV adoption for the customers. This is very much required, considering that there is pollution and we need to create a green ecosystem, green mobility, sustainability. I think states should adopt such policies to help initial adoption of EV.
But Mr. Ghosh, there's lots happening right now globally, and we all are aware about the energy crisis and the situation that as of now we are getting to see. And with respect to the EV segment particularly, do you see that EV going ahead will be one of the key outperformers if we compare EV growth versus the ICE growth, given the fact that there are some concerns on ground that fuel cost may be on the rise? And do you see that maybe the EV industry is at an inflection point?
It's too early to comment because if I talk about in the month of March, and if you compare it with last year March or February of this year, EV has grown phenomenally, and same with ICE also has grown very well. So it's too early to comment about whether the whatever is happening in Middle East, has it really had any impact or not. But there is only one thing which I can comment on, which is the fact that in the month of March, the EV penetration of the overall TIV was more than 5%, whereas earlier it was hovering around 4%. But whether it can be contributed to the EV adoption because of war or not, I can't say that. It's too early. But yes, EV penetration has improved if I talk about in the month of March.
All right, but specifically with respect to the EV segment, you are one of the key players now, because since your launch, VinFast has done pretty well in the Indian markets. But going ahead, what sort of a market share are you targeting?
When we started our journey in India, we never had that market share particular picture in the mind. As you must be knowing that we have a planned capacity of 50,000 vehicles per annum. So we would like to maximize volume, but one thing I can state that month on month we are improving our market share, and we would like to improve our volume by having good product offerings, by giving overall ownership package to the customers, which we are doing by having more network, by having our showrooms and workshops close to the customers. So from that point of view, you can say that we are trying to have fundamentals correct so that it will eventually help us in growing the volume.
All right, but also help us understand what is your network as well as dealership expansion plan in India, maybe in the medium term, what sort of a target that you have set for yourself, and especially within this, with your respect to your India strategy, what are the localization targets that you have set?
Network, already we have got 50 showrooms in place by end of March. And we target to increase this to 75 showrooms by the end of this year. Even service network is also very important. Total number of workshops we would target is more than 230 by the end of this year. Localization is very important. That will help us in bringing down the cost. It will help down in whatever are the global uncertainties. It will help us in having a stable supply chain. So localization is very important. We would keep on increasing the localization as the months go by. Currently, we are at 15% localization.
All right, and lastly, Mr. Ghosh, there are so many reports highlighting that VinFast is also eyeing in the two-wheeler segment to make an entry there. Why don't you help us with some more plans there? Why two-wheeler segment, and specifically within this, at what time are you looking forward to make a launch? Which segment will you be targeting? Some more details from your side.
We would be launching the EV two-wheelers in the second half of this year. We would like our customers to also experience the two-wheeler EV. So we'll be launching it this year, second half. Exact month as well as date of the launch, we will inform you in the coming months.